All right. What's good? What's good, everyone? What's good? As always, greeting check. And all right. Salute and shalom, Lawrence. Uh, well, whenever you get done making that tea, I figure you'll be up here in a minute. So I give you that time. but um, so as we were speaking on the subject of power earlier, I hope that it was very enjoying and informative to you because it's something that yeah, I think I'll, like I said in the introduction in the last stream, that it's something I think I'm going to look into multiple of the stories in the Bible to point out how that power is something that you're not giving it, it must be taken. And how it's exclusive and not inclusive. It's something that's not included to everyone, it's exclusive to certain individuals. And it's something that you're not going to be given. You have to take it. You have to be willing to get your hands dirty uh, to take power. You have to be willing to get your hands dirty to keep it. It's something you have to be willing to also die for. Um, welcome, welcome, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Shalom, shalom. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, yeah. You
Oh,
figured you're probably making tea.
yeah, actually, this time I was going over some paperwork.
Oh, okay,
Actually,
okay, okay. Got you, got
um, I wish it was tea, but,
you.
but no, I remember the stuff I was working on. My sleeping schedule is just
Yeah,
all
yeah,
off, man.
yeah.
It's
It is.
all off.
Yeah, you are.
Um, okay. I think I caught. I think you were just highlighting what you said in the
Pretty much.
last stream. Oh,
Pretty
okay.
much.
Um, I I how can I put it? Uh, there's never been any concept of transfer of power without it being forced.
Right.
Um, I don't I in today's standards, I don't know why people think whining, crying, and begging thinks anything will change. I don't have any knowledge of anything that has ever changed like that.
Right.
So um, so it's weird to me.
Yeah. I guess the only thing I can say is it's just it's an effect of the culture, and not only is it culture for American colored people, but um, it's just American culture. Period. Now.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because I remember listening to my aunts and uncles and stuff as a kid during the whole Malcolm X Martin Luther King debate on who was right and who was wrong, and it was always strange to me, even when I was younger. Well, how can you put it? It's like you got a handful of people who are in power, and the rest is the general society,
Hmm.
and it's always that thing about, well, they've got guns, and or so or something like that.
Yeah.
They got the power, they got the weapons, yada yada yada. And I always thought to myself, if 10 people have guns and there's 14 rounds in each gun, but there's 4,000 people.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. Somebody's going to get tagged, but realistically speaking, the vast majority is going to take that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna overrun the joint. To be
Right.
quite honest with you.
But
I think at the end of the day, it's one of those situations where they want power without putting in the work or the sacrifice for it. And
it's
if not, they'll have somebody else sacrifice themselves and live off that martyrdom, I guess, for lack of a better term.
I I guess what I would say here is, in the last one that I did, it was over pain. Um, Also, the other thing is that I guess the great distractor is where pain is the the greatest teacher, the great distractor would have to be fear.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. Yeah, I would
so
agree.
people allow that fear of them possibly being on the receiving end of that bullet to stop them from anything. When the simple fact is that, I mean, no matter what, you're gonna die anyway. When and how, is the crapshoot.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, but they they have a fear. They would rather that fear paralyze them from 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 the possibility of dying to achieve power, but allow it to keep them being a slave until they die.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah,
Because that's one of the things I've talked about, especially with MOT a lot.
yeah,
Um, we got to be honest. We're soft. I I mean, not us individually, but I mean, just as a group consensus
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. Oh yeah,
We're soft. We with all the work that was done for freedom, civil rights, etc., and so on. The only thing that is accomplished thus far is making everybody soft. I mean, it's gotten to the point, and then, like I said, I'm not talking about us as individuals. I'm talking about the collective,
yes, I
because
agree.
to be quite honest, where the collective is concerned, we have to be honest. The vast majority is soft.
Yes,
Everything is whine, 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 unfair, unfair, unfair. Gimme, 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 gimme. And that's it. That's it. Nothing about going out there to fight for it. Nothing about taking it. None of that. Because if
yeah,
you look at everyone else goes and takes it.
yeah.
Some through violence, some through politics, some through policy, whatever have you may. But
Theft,
they all,
whatever.
yeah, 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 theft, yeah, exactly. But they all take it. They all take it. I mean, as far as it goes for our particular culture, we just whine and beg. And in that respect, how today are we any different than how it was when we first got here as slaves? Because that's exactly what you had to do. If you wanted anything, you had to beg your master to give it to you.
Yeah, yeah. Not much any different.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
And that's one of the speaking on it from that aspect of you know American colored people.
Hold
Um,
on. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. No mean to cut you off. Knowledge. I'm hearing everything clearly with no problem.
wow.
Maybe close it and then open it up and restart.
Okay. Well, we
Um,
are on here together, but yeah, it should be. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
come on.
Just
Now
an
I work
idea.
this through.
Knowledge. I'm not sure, but just an idea.
On
Because like I
this.
said, I'm hearing everything fine. No delays. Nothing. So.
Cool.
And I'm sorry, Eisen. You were saying?
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Um, a little feedback. Did you mute the YouTube in?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know why I keep hearing the echo. Maybe it's me. Let me look. No, I don't know. Well, what? But
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing everything perfectly.
yeah, no, I'm hearing it. It's just I was hearing the echo in behind. That's where I
No,
was
no, no.
confused.
Well, I'm not hearing any of that.
Okay,
Like I said, I got the StreamYard up.
let me just
I got the YouTube muted and actually muted and stopped. To be honest with
got you. Well,
you, so
it must
I'm
be on
going
my
straight.
end for some reason then.
Yeah, I'm going straight off the StreamYard. So,
Okay, yeah. Well, my internet speed test good, so well,
but
but
he said he keeps buffering. So I'm wondering if it's on his end.
or if it's YouTube, huh? Don't know.
Yeah, because like I said, we're going perfectly fine back and
Right,
forth, so it's not
right.
buffering on. So I'm wondering if it's maybe him. That's why I told him to shut it
Got you,
down and reopen it. So
got you. But oh, on that aspect of color people wanting, pretty much begging.
right,
It's it's one of the reasons why I hate it whenever people want to say that quote unquote, we're the chosen ones because the problem that comes with that is it creates a mindset of excuses.
Mm. I did that several times, and now I hear it well after leaving and come. Okay, excellent, good, good, good. It worked.
Okay, cool.
But going to what you said though,
Yes.
what's interesting to me about what you just said is that being walking around thinking you're chosen
Hmm.
is not the bad part. The bad part is exactly what you said. It
Yeah.
makes you think that things are just supposed to be given to you. But that's
Yes.
only because they don't understand what being chosen is. When you are chosen, that means there is a massive amount of accountability, responsibility, and leadership that you are required to
Hmm.
maintain and live up to.
Hmm.
That's where the disconnect is. They think it works the other way. That's not what being chosen mean. It just doesn't.
But and the other part of the reason why I have a problem with this because of telling them that is because the culture in itself is about enabling fuck ups to keep fucking up for this
Like you
lack of
said,
yeah.
like you said many times before, that's the problem with the culture. And you've said it, MOT has said it, Zero, all of us have said it
Yeah.
to some degree or the other. We're literally the only culture who doesn't kick out the unwanted and unuseful.
Hmm.
We literally want them to be part of
I
this,
want to
like
take them
dragging
along
them.
with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
want to take them along, drag them with us. Would makes no sense. No other culture that I'm aware of does that, but ours.
You got cancer. Oh no, we can't have surgery to get rid of the cancerous cells. We got to take them along, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. You got somebody with plague, completely 100% contagious, but
Yeah.
we can't leave them. Let's bring them along and contaminate everybody else. I mean,
Right.
that's literally what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, and like and matter of fact, that's a first example of a lack of power. Because anybody with power would know you cut them off and you leave them behind. You just have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. It's it. It's the one thing. Yeah. Whenever you have power, you understand that anything that is not of use to you and is not in your control, you have to cut it off.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
have to cut it off because
Exactly.
if
And
you
that's
don't,
an
it comes against you.
absolutely every single time, without fail, every single time. That's why like I said before, I hate this nonsense with that hotep stuff with we were kings and queens. No, no.
Yeah.
Kings and queens know how to carry themselves appropriately. Kings and queens know how to make hard decisions, painful ones, but make them nonetheless. A real king would not sacrifice it. You know what? Not forget all that. Let's go to the shepherd. A shepherd would not sacrifice his entire flock for the sake of saving one ill sheep. He would not.
Mm-mm.
He
Eh,
would not. He would take that sheep out, slaughter it, call it a day, and then keep it moving with the rest. But he would not let it infect the rest. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, I get young Swift brings up a great point.
I'm
Kings
sorry.
and
What?
queens. Swift brings up a great point.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah,
Kings and queens of what? How can you be a king or queen without an empire? Oh yeah, no
I
empire.
know. Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, shalom as
and if
well,
and,
Swift.
yeah, and
And,
yeah, shalom.
and I was gonna say too. I guess they could be kings and queens of fuckery, but the other point before it even gets to your point to bring up
Hmm.
is how freaking ludicrous it is to think that they sent ruling class people over here to be slaves.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
That's true.
out of I mean hundreds of thousands of people. They were all. I mean, they left the peasants behind, but they sent the ruling class people. They sent
Well,
royalty to be slaves instead of. I
but
mean, that's how dumb.
but that makes perfect sense. It's always been that way. You take out the leadership, and the rest of like I said, you take out the shepherd, the flock is going to go do what it wants to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disorganized. It doesn't understand. You know what I mean? And it
Well, in
just
that
sits there.
case,
It just sits there waiting to be slaughtered by the next group that comes in. I mean,
they they sold the flock into slavery because
yeah,
they had
pretty
to.
much.
So that
Yeah, pretty
there was no shepherd.
right.
But I mean, yeah, it just goes to show how stupid these people are to think. Yeah, we just gonna sell the ruling class into slavery while leave.
Right.
we gonna leave the commoners here though. Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Right. Now now for me, and this might not be viewed upon very well, but my particular take on it, especially where the culture is concerned, is you know what? I don't care about the women. I don't care about the women acting or feeling that way. I think it's part of their nature. What I have a problem with is always with the men. Um, because where the men are concerned, seeking power, rites of passage, all that good stuff.
That's
That's
what
what
men are
we
supposed to do.
yeah, that's what we do. We're supposed to test everything, everything. Yourselves, the environment, your relationships, your work ethic. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, seriously. I mean, we're built for that. Like I said, that's why we got that particular part of the curse. You know what I mean?
Right.
About having to labor and work the land and stuff like that. That's for us. Um, but when they don't, like I said before, to me, that's them moving into a female frame because by the nature of women, I mean, they want everything without giving anything. Yeah, you know what I mean? And they whine and they beg and they moan and they cry, and until they get it or try to get it. It's except for a dozen. That's not the way for men. It never was. I mean, like I said, that's the reason why we got the curse. We're supposed to bust ass to get everything. It's work.
Because you have to survive.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's why, like I said, that's why that was put on us. That's what we're supposed to do.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I said many times before, even if you're not a person of faith, and you're more into the secular way of seeing things, that's cool. But guess what? The answer is still the same.
Yeah.
Even if you want to do it from a purely scientific perspective, okay, genetically, that's what we're built for.
Right.
I mean, you can't get away from it, no matter what
Right.
side you
Yeah.
land on.
Yeah, because the simple fact of the physicality of taking power from that sense. I mean, you have to be able to had to be able to physically do it. Um, you have to be able
Absolutely.
to physically take on nature. So yeah, I mean that's the reason why. Um, even from that scientific standpoint, why the males of human society are they're built for ruling.
Yeah, yeah. And matter of fact, that's how we learn about what power is, how to obtain it, how to apply it, etc., and so on. Our first example of true power is always our fathers.
Mm.
I mean, if everything's done properly,
Mhm.
that's the first true example as a child you get of what power is. That's your father. You watch how he wields it through the house. You watch how he wields it in relation to your mother, how he wields it in relation to you and your siblings, and especially if you sit there and watch the dynamic between if the siblings are boys and the siblings are girls. But that's the first true test of a child for looking at seeing what power actually is. It's the father.
Mm.
And I'm not saying the mother doesn't either, but I mean, as far as goes for the overall power structure,
Yeah,
if
because
there's a mother and father in the house, it's the father who's the overall,
yeah,
the final word, so to speak.
right. Yeah, because
And then from there, especially if you're a young man, he teaches you how, if he's doing it properly, that is. Let me make sure
right.
I make that abundantly clear. If he's doing it properly in the way he's supposed to, you learn by watching him. And as you reach a certain age, he starts taking you along with him to teach you what he knows.
Hmm.
And then you learn more power. And then as you get older, you start testing things yourself to gain
Right.
more confidence and more power yourself. And then you move through life and you keep going forward, going forward, going forward. Because we can talk about power, but every 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 relationship, every task, everything you do, it's a different type of power, but it's still
Right.
power.
Agreed.
So you adjust accordingly. And that's part of being a man. It comes with growth.
Right. And that's the other thing too. When you were pointing out that it was to say that a woman doesn't have power, but her power structure is vastly different from that
Absolutely.
of the man, which is
Hmm.
why a boy can't learn male power from a woman. Can't do it
Absolutely.
whatsoever. It's
Absolutely.
it's impossible.
Yeah. And they get upset with that too because they know a woman cannot teach a young boy how to be a man, but a man can teach a young girl how to be a lady. And they hate that.
But and part of that also too is because their power, the powerful woman comes so much more earlier and naturally whenever, especially if she's attractive, because it comes early. It's
Hmm.
not something that's taught. It's something that she's essentially born with, and it's all of it's front loaded from the jump. Because
Right.
if she's attractive, society is going to treat her differently, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's why I said, because if you have and we see it today, if you look at a single mother who's raising nothing but boys, you can see it's all messed up. But if you look at a single father who's raising a daughter, it's radically different. Men. Like I said, women can't teach young men how to be men.
Mm,
But like I said, a father can at least teach a daughter how to be a lady.
yeah,
Because the difference here is that a father will teach his daughter to be a proper young lady to make her a good and productive person of society, regardless of what she wants to be, whether it's to get married and have children, whether it's to go out into the workforce, whether it's get educated, whatever. But there's a difference where mothers with sons don't do that. They use their power to manipulate the sons and make them and break them and make them weak. Fathers who raise daughters by themselves, they don't do that.
yeah.
They don't use their power that way. They don't use their power to manipulate and dominate the child. They use their power to make the child a productive person as best as possible. And it's speaking as somebody who's raised four of them and having other single fathers who raise daughters and stuff like that. I'm telling you, we have these conversations and you can see the difference.
And that's the thing. On what you just pointed out, and Omega Dress pointed out too. That's why men have female power, because
Well,
the I get what he's saying, as far as in terms of today's society. But the problem is it's a pseudo female power, because I mean it's not even good. It's not even effective because the simple fact that the society is not going to respond to men in the same way it's going to respond to the female. Right.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep, you can't
exactly.
mouthpiece through labor.
Yeah,
Sure enough. There
yeah,
you go.
exactly.
There
And,
you go. That's it.
yeah, and that's the thing. They can't mouthpiece through it like a woman can because
Hmm.
as Zero would just point out bluntly, they don't have a pussy.
Yeah, yeah. Bottom line, yeah.
For they don't have that for them to be able to get sympathy for them being that. Um,
Yeah.
it won't
And like I said,
work.
that's why we spent the last generation and a half, 2 generations, whatever you want to call it, um, doing the things that's been done to men because they understand that if they don't break us, they're never going to win. Because like I said, you have to they're I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. You have to break that spirit. You have to break that inner being because if not, it will rise up. It's the like again, that's the nature of us, man.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, no one gains power to not use it.
That's correct.
I mean,
That's correct.
whoever says that crap about gaining power and not using it, it's a fool. You're a fool to not use power. You have to exercise your power to to show that you mean business. You have to, because if
Yeah,
you don't use it, no one's going to take you seriously with that power.
that's correct. That's correct. Like like MOT and I talk, a lot of times, having your own business is cool, but it's some serious work. And yeah, money is cool because that comes from it. But the truth of the matter is, it's about power.
Hmm.
It's I mean that's why you build your own business to be successful. It's about power,
And
money, and all
freedom.
that stuff. Yeah, but
Both.
that's where that's what comes with the power,
Yeah.
because like I said, the money and stuff is great. Don't get me wrong; it allows you to do things that you normally couldn't at your time frame and etc. and so on. But it's really about power because from that perspective, you have control over everything,
Hmm.
whether it be your finances or which, like you said, your time, which is probably the most
That's the most valuable
valuable.
resource we have.
Yeah, the most valuable. Yeah, the most valuable resource you can have. But like I said, it controls it controls your time. It controls your finances. It allows you to move in ways you couldn't normally move. It changes the perspective of your thinking. At least if you're thinking and growing properly.
Hmm.
It affects who you associate with. I mean, it allows you to do a lot of things. And like I said, that freedom it comes from that power.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
When
know.
you gain power and you gain that different train of thought, it does change, and it should change the
Yeah, it should.
room you sit in. It should.
Absolutely.
It should.
Absolutely. And I have no shame. I've wielded it a couple of times
Yeah.
with
You
no
know.
shame.
No, you got to.
Whether it's to be to get something that I want when somebody said no, or to take somebody out because they're in my way. I won't lie. I
Right.
use it. I use it. I mean, it has its place and its function.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah. I mean.
the trick is not to abuse it. That's the trick.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That is a trick, but yeah, you have to use it so that no one, so you don't appear to be soft and weak and they ain't got power they ain't really got no power because they ain't gonna use it.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, but like I said, but that's what we're looking at with the
Yeah.
culture right now.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
most
yeah,
definitely.
and that's the thing that gets me the most. The amount of power that's already there but not being used pisses me off because it's not something that's a mistake. It's something that's a conscious choice. At least to me, it is.
Hmm.
It's because they're making a conscious choice not to accept and use the power that they have because they'd rather do it the other way. Like I said, no accountability, no responsibility, no work, yada yada. You want to take the easy route, but there's no such thing as the easy route. Everything costs. Everything costs because it look, if you accept the power and you go after it and you use it, that's work. So it's not free. And if you want to sit around and beg and ask for people to give you stuff, that's not free either because you literally gave up your freedom to be somebody else's slave.
Mm. You
That's how
know,
I look. That's how I look at it.
I would also argue that most people don't really their interest isn't in power or even freedom.
No, their interest is in money and celebrity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Clout stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and that's all anybody cares about nowadays. That's why I can't deal with them. That's why I also agree with Zero and you guys when somebody comes in and says something about Jay-Z or Drake or whatever. And it's like, yo, stop using them people as an
Yeah.
example of the overall group. It's not like that. It doesn't work that
Mm,
way.
yeah. And not only that, I mean, you're not even in that room to even to perceive, anyways, of how you can be or how you can think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, man, he's a cousin through marriage. Same thing with Cosby and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
I've sat in their living rooms. It ain't what you think. It's just not.
And
It's not.
also, young Swift, I would argue most people don't even want to be pulling the strings in their own life. Forget
Yeah,
society.
yeah,
That's too big.
yeah. Because I mean, you're not wrong, but you got to start smaller because before you can get to a productive society, you have to have a productive person.
Yeah.
Because a productive person will build a productive family. The productive family will be part of the productive neighborhood. The productive neighborhood builds on the society, etc. You got to start there with that individual. It all starts with the individual. That's why personal responsibility and accountability is important. That's why being introspective is important. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be able to look inside yourself. But again, people don't want the responsibility of having to accept what they see.
Okay,
You know
I
what I
got you,
mean?
Swift. Yeah.
It's got to start somewhere, and then no matter how you play the game, no matter what culture you're talking about, no matter the gender, no matter the age, no matter the color, it all starts with the individual. It has to. There's no other way.
Okay. I got you, Swift. I got you, Swift. You meant you meant the people in this society don't want to be pulling strings in their lives. Got you. Got you.
Oh yeah, I knew he meant here. Yeah, I knew that.
Okay. Okay. I got you. It was just hey, I took it for the way it was worded. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
It's cool. And also, yeah, peace, Brownsburg. And but
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't see him pop in. Oh,
yeah, he
Iman
just popped
Perry's in
in.
there too. Okay.
Yeah, your man Perry's
What
in
do
there
you
too. Yeah.
What do you mean? Who am I? We've talked. You've seen me before, Iman. What are you talking about?
Hey, it's probably a joke. Probably a joke.
Oh,
Probably.
okay.
But yeah.
But yeah, but like I said, it's always gonna come down to that. I mean, we can talk about the woes of the culture, who's doing who's doing what, who's doing this, why is it not working, why is it not this. It's just at the end of the day, it's always gonna come back to the same thing. That individual. It has to be an individual choice. What happened?
Yeah. Make it serious. Lawrence, can't we just play the other game, blameism? Yeah.
Nope, nope.
Yeah, they
We
love
cannot. No,
it.
we cannot. We cannot because here's the problem with quote unquote blameism. It gets you nowhere.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I don't want to go
I,
anywhere.
I mean, I mean, I mean, almost to some degree, I consider that to be worse than avoiding personal responsibility and accountability.
Ooh.
Because avoiding personal accountability and responsibility has a tendency to be a conscious choice, right?
Mhm.
And the only thing that comes of it is that we sit around and we hear people whine and cry. I want this, I want that. Why can't I have this? Why can't I have that? Blameism is when you literally just sit and do nothing but complain. Period. End of story. Well, it's their fault. Well, it's this person's fault. It's their fault. It's this person's fault. And you're still just sitting there doing nothing. Just
Mhm.
nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I got you.
I just like it's always there's no way around it. It's always going to come back to personal responsibility. And the thing that's weird is that with the personal responsibility, if you do it right
Mhm.
and you accept personal responsibility for yourself, you start doing that introspective thing, and you start coming to understand why you do the things you do, making those changes, etc., and so on. That is the first step towards true power. Like the
Mhm.
saying goes, know thyself. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is literally the first step to acquiring power, knowing yourself. Because because once you know yourself, you will come to an understanding of what you're willing to accept, not willing to accept, what you will stand for, what you will not stand for, who's worthy of being in your circle, who is not.
What you're willing to do, what you're willing not to do.
Exactly. In other words, bottom line, you learn how to draw a line in the sand for everything. Period. End of story.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You find out that most people they don't know themselves, or they think that they know themselves.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. What is that? Lawrence's wacism of business?
I guess he's talking about the way you do things.
Because oh yeah, because if you're honest with yourself, everything is a business. Everything is a business. Look, whether it be relationships, making money, productivity, it's a business. There's a system to everything. There's a system to everything, and you just got to learn how to understand how to manage it.
Mm.
Whether it's a spouse, a girlfriend, your children, your parents, your best friend, your childhood friends, your co-workers, everything's about management, man. Everything.
Yourself first, though.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
can't manage yourself. You can't manage nothing else.
Well, it's
Not
funny too.
effectively, anyway.
Well, it's funny too because when I was younger and I was in Okinawa, that's one of the first things I learned about talking with Japanese businessmen. There was a thing for them that if you couldn't run your own house, you most certainly couldn't run my business. They were big
Mm,
on that. They were big on that. As a matter of fact, I guarantee you, Sigma would testify to that too.
I bet he would.
That was huge for them because
I
because
bet
because
he
like I
would.
said, they look at the whole picture. If you can't run yourself or your house, how do you expect to come work for me and run my business? There's no
Right.
logic in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's there's
Makes
there's no
perfect
logic
sense.
in that. With yeah, yeah. I mean, I learned that when I was like 19 or 20 when I was over there. That's how early I learned that.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So but I don't like I said, man, it's always gonna come to that. I mean, power, like I said, the power is already there. It's like anything else. You just have to reach out and grab it.
Yeah.
Or to be quite honest, keeping in tune with the stream, reach out and take it.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
not because like as we've already established, it's not going to be given to you.
Right.
And like I said, I don't care what they say. In the history of the world, nobody willingly just handed over power to somebody else. It just doesn't work like that.
No.
You're
Yeah.
asking somebody to stop being a king and go be a pauper. No, that's that's not how that works. Nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah.
Nobody. So I mean, it's just it's a weird thing. But like I
Exactly.
said, the power has always been there, but it has to start. It has to start with you reaching out for your individual power first. You have to do that because like I said, that'll take you through the process and the steps of understanding what it
Mm.
is. It'll teach you how to work it, how to apply it, how to obtain it. And
Hmm.
like I said, it's a growth pattern. And once you go to the next step, it'll take it from there. What's that? Be
Be
alone. I just
alone.
want to.
That is when ideas are born. That is why many of the earthly miracles have had their genesis in humble surroundings. Nikola Tesla. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
and that and
yeah.
that is the reason why there are so few uh, that have had great accomplishments because there's not many people that can actually be alone.
Yep, that is
It's
correct.
not. I mean, I mean, you're. I mean, the one about I can't be lonely. I don't want to be lonely. I mean, just because you're alone, don't mean you got to be lonely. But that, I mean, what can I say
You
else,
know,
Prince?
I remember something, and I think it was Robin Williams, if I remember correctly. He said some people think the worst thing is to be alone, but what's worse is being around people who make you feel alone.
Ooh, wow, yeah, that's powerful right there.
It is, because remember last week I had told you it took me years, man, that every time I was alone to stop thinking I was antisocial because that's what they drilled in my head.
Mhm.
It took me years, man. And like I said last week, on occasion, sometimes when I'm not focused or paying attention, I slip back into that nonsense they used to do to me. But there's nothing wrong with being alone.
Mm.
And the only people who have a problem with being alone are people who have nothing of worth because they fill their life up with a whole bunch of different nonsense other than just sitting quietly. I literally know people. It's difficult. Like I had a friend back in the day, Buddy. We would get in the car and we would just go for a drive. You know what I'm saying? Just to get out the house. And we'll be sitting in the car. I remember the first time he did it. I'm listening to the music and I'm just looking out the window and I'm just enjoying the countryside. I'm just
Mm.
enjoying the beauty of it. I mean, trees, grass, farms. I'm just enjoying it, man. Because living in the city so long, getting in the country is kind of nice. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and when we got back to the house and he actually looked at me. He said, so are you gonna tell me why you mad at me? And I'm like, mad at you? Why would I be mad at you? Well, we sat in the car, you didn't say anything, so I thought you were mad at me. What? Why would you think that? Well, you stopped talking. Dude, I was just enjoying the sights. We got in the car so you could take me out to see the area and view the country. So I viewed the country. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but you just got so quiet. Dude, silence does not mean anybody's angry. Where did you get that from? He's like,
Right.
well, that's how I grew up. Oh, geez, they got you wrong, dude. Silence does not mean that. I mean, people have a hard time with being quiet. They just do.
And something else that I guess to the point you were making about the antisocial thing, I just took the opposite route and embraced it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah. I was like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I don't like you, motherfuckers. So,
yeah,
I ran with it and embraced it, and then so now I find it hilarious and entertaining when people like, oh yeah, maybe this place isn't for you. I was like, yeah, you just not figuring it out. I've been telling you that for years.
yeah, yeah. And that's why, like I said, whenever Zero and I are talking, whenever we get on the subject, I say the same thing I said to him the first time we ever talked. Dude, it's fear. It's fear. Look, you don't go after people like us in this space unless it's fear. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. Because any real man would do exactly what we do to people who think opposite of us. It's like, all right, do you. If you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? And we
Yeah,
move on. But they don't do that. They make response videos about us. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Or they attack us with female verbiage. You must be gay, you must be this, you must be that. And they just go down the list. But and like I said, like I told Zero the first time we ever talked, that's only from fear. Nobody does that except from for fear. And it's a fear, and it's fear for a variety of things. It's fear because they know we know who we are, and
mm,
it pisses them off because they don't know who they are.
gotcha, gotcha.
It's fear because they know at the end of the day what we're saying is the truth, but they don't want to face it because facing the truth is hard for people.
Yeah, yeah,
They
it
don't they
is.
they don't they don't like it because they also have to acknowledge that whether they want to believe it or not, we're winning.
Well, and not only that, that they have to acknowledge that they are what they are. They don't want to acknowledge
Exactly.
that either. And
Exactly. And the thing about acknowledging what they are is they have to acknowledge that they're lesser.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the other
And
thing.
that's just all it is to it.
Yeah, and
Fear of being left behind, fear of the fact that they see exactly what we see in, but they've gotten so locked into saying the stuff that they do, they have to stick with it now. They're in too deep.
mm,
They can't get out with some serious repercussions coming to them from the space. I mean, it is what it is.
right. Or
You
others
can't.
around them in general. So
Exactly. You can't spend 10 years spitting out that dogma, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh man, Eisen, Lawrence, Zero, MOT, they was right. But what do you do? Because you can't flip. Because if you flip, that 10 years of worth of subscribers or anybody else who was listening to you is gonna get pissed.
mm,
They're gonna call you a turncoat. You in too deep now. You can't turn around.
yeah,
Like we talk about with the cliff. You can't put on the brakes no more. You're still gonna go over it.
right. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's done.
Yeah,
And,
it's done. That's a wrap. I mean,
and
that's
also on the same note of that, am I really supposed to even believe your change too?
that's the other thing.
Yeah,
That's the other thing. Because like I tell people all the time, we have rules in scripture we have to follow. We are required to forgive our brother. We just are. I mean, it's in there. We're required to forgive him. But like I told my actual brother, I forgive you, but it don't mean I have to work with you. It don't
yeah,
mean I have to deal with you. It doesn't mean I have to trust you. I mean, it just
yeah.
doesn't.
Right,
It just doesn't. It just means I have to forgive you. I could do that. That's easy.
yeah,
But outside of that, don't expect anything more.
right. I got you. Huh, I got you. And salute to you as well, Sigma. Have fun, bro. But
Yeah, he's got his nephews. I saw
yeah,
that.
yeah. And
That's cool.
to the quote that Young Swift put, people run in packs because they don't feel safe alone. I run alone because I don't feel safe in packs.
Yeah, yeah,
And I would
Muhammad Ali. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one you were
Muhammad
talking
Ali.
about. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
And
I agree with that
I would also
because my
say too,
yeah
for me, I'm gonna go with Marco's most hated statement. For me personally, uh, damn, a lot of times people just freaking annoy me.
yes 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 that is so true. That is so true. Because like I'm with the Muhammad Ali thing because every pack I've ever run to has screwed me.
Mm.
And that's my experience. I can't
Yeah,
speak for other
yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
generally
yeah,
every pack to some degree has screwed me. Somebody in it or as a group screwed me.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? And as far as it goes for the Marco thing, I've been, like I said, I've been telling my family that since I was a kid. I don't like being around people because they annoy the crap out of
no,
me.
no. The beginning statement of what I said was the Marco thing for me personally.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
Okay.
for me
I missed.
personally part.
Yeah, I missed that. I missed that. I missed
Yeah,
that.
my bad, y'all. Yeah, the for me personally. Yeah, he
Yeah,
always hated that for me personally part. But yeah,
yeah. But
for
I
me,
don't.
it's just that people annoy me, man.
They do.
For the
They
most part,
do.
I do find a few that that don't really annoy me so much, but most people, golly, I find them draining and annoying. So
Yeah, because like for me, for the vast
my
well, Megan.
bad. Yo, Swift. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
having a Shikamaru moment with people. Yeah, it is a drag for me.
Yeah. But like with the men, I mean, let's be real. 95% of I have nothing in common with.
Yeah.
I have nothing in common, and what they want to talk about has serves no purpose to me. I don't want to sit around talking about ass and tits all day. I don't. I don't want to sit around talking about clout or flossing or whatever the current phrase or term is. And
What
as we
Sally
discussed,
Sue, Tom, Dick, and Harry done?
yeah, and as we talked about last night, I already told you, women are boring to me.
Yeah.
They are some of the most boring creatures in existence. And like I told you last night when we were talking, their entire conversation, more than anything else, always has to do with nothing but consumerism.
Yeah.
Period. Point blank. I want, I need, I should have. Their entire existence, they're boring conversationalists. Boring. Boring.
Mhm.
Boring. I don't know how many times I can say that, but
Yeah.
then I realized that Caucasian technique for survival, job, and even friendship, you better off walking away tonight. Oh yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But like I said, like I said, I got nothing in common with 95% of the men, and that seems to be shrinking. Yeah, well, at least it seems to be increasing. It's like more and more men I have less to talk to about, and like I said, the women are boring. They're just absolutely
Uh.
boring.
Uh. Hey. Hey, man. Listen. All women are consumers. All women. 100% of
Yeah,
women are consumers. It's not a much of if it's not so. It's not about
I think
if
he's
they're
talking about.
consumers.
I,
Okay.
I think he's talking about. I think he's talking about the men part.
Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind. Then. Never
Because I
mind.
said 90. I said 95. I think he's saying 99.
Ah, got you. Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
There's a
But like
little lag
yeah,
there
but
between the chat and us, so my bad.
but yeah, but like I said, boring is all.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
no,
you
oh
said
no.
women being boring.
He was talking about being boring. 99% of them. I think all of them are, man. I got to be honest. I think it's
I will say
100%.
I will say that there I will say that there's an anomaly for a 0.0000001% chance of some that are not, but that's an anomaly.
You know what? For the sake of science, I'll give you that.
That's why I said anomaly, a fractional
Yeah.
percentage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For the sake of science,
Yeah,
I have to
yeah,
calculate in the X factor. So yeah, I would
yeah,
give you that. I would give you that. And like I said, with the men, I mean, it's just, I mean, why do I want to sit around talking about that? I
yeah. They
mean,
never talk about savings. They don't talk about saving any damn thing.
no, no,
They
people
talk
will talk
about
about
cutting
this.
everything.
Yeah, yeah. I've had conversations with people trying to help them figure out how to. It ain't got to be nothing fancy, I mean, even if it's only $5.
Oh, you know what? I take that back. They do talk about savings in one instance, saving them damn selves, or you saving them. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the only saving they talk about.
Hmm. Yep. But like I said, look, if that's what you want, then knock yourself out.
Hey,
I mean, knock yourself out. But
you like it, I
my
like it.
yeah, exactly. But my thing is, and I've been saying this um for a bit, and it's true. If that is who and what you want to be, knock yourself out. But don't come at me telling me I'm not right.
Right, right.
If I give you the space to be who you are, fuck up or otherwise, you need to leave me my space to be who I am.
Right.
And that's the difference I was saying when I was talking about the manosphere thing, because that's the difference. We might not like what they do. We might even discuss it among ourselves, but we don't go out there and tell them shut up, get off, shut down your channel, all this other kind of stuff. Trying to dox people. We don't do that. Only they do.
Mhm.
And like I said, that's fear. That's fear because they understand that we're reaching for our power. We're taking our power. We're doing what we're supposed to with our power. They're not.
Yeah. Yeah. Too true.
You
Too
know.
true.
So I
Yeah.
mean, that's
And that was a good comment there by E-Man Perry there that that's a big reason about women being uninterested and boring. That's a big reason why most female comedians don't get over. Yeah.
what do you. There. That's where your anomaly thing comes in.
Yeah. Yeah. The
I mean,
ones that do get over. Yeah.
yeah, that's
The ones that
yeah,
do get over. Well, he
that's a
said most. That's the
real
reason why they don't get over. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. But your anomaly would kick in real good there
Yeah.
because, like I said, for every one of them that might pull it off, we got 5 or 6 who actually did it.
Yeah.
as far as it goes for guys,
Yeah.
and not to be funny,
If not more than
but
that.
even the ones who have gone down in history
Hmm.
have never achieved the levels of the men who've gone down in history.
Yeah. 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 They'll never be as great.
You know,
You
you
know.
could talk about Ellen all you want to, but she'll never be a George Carlin. You
Mm,
feel what I'm saying? You
yeah.
can talk about Adele all you want to, but she'll never be a Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can talk about Simone all you want to. She'll never be Richard Pryor. You,
Yeah.
you feel you
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying?
Right. 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 And uh,
You
youngster.
can talk about yeah.
My bad. My bad. Let me go here for a minute.
No,
Youngster.
go ahead, go ahead.
The reason why women expect men to be front up, see the comedians out, stand up and see the comedians all the time is, yes, for the purpose of manipulate, but also for the purpose of just simply everything else that they desire. It's not, you can't just limit it to that because women,
Hmm.
there's only one thing women don't want, and that's accountability. They don't want responsibility. That's the only thing they don't want. They want everything else. So they want you to do it for entertaining them, but also,
Hmm.
but yeah, but now this whole thing is kind of making my mind go. I forgot about what we had. When they got when the news people got mad at John McEnroe uh, for his comments, and I was I liked his statements um, on whenever they asked him about Serena Williams and her being um, a tennis player. He's like, yeah, she's one of the best. She's probably, she's one of the greatest female tennis players ever. Yeah. And what to say? Why you got to put a female on it? Because she is a female. And just them getting all in their feelings about it and all that, and then them asking him where he would rank if he would play. He's like, man, I'm 60 years old. I've got teenagers that beat me all the time. I'll probably be
Hmm.
last. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's just
yeah.
uh,
I mean, it's just like sports or playing games and stuff
yeah.
like that. Like I used to tell my kids, and like I've told my grandkids, if you lose and it was played fairly, knock yourself out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's take the loss and go learn it to be better so you can win the next one. But if you're playing a game and it's stacked against you because people are tweaking stuff because somebody needs to get favoritism because they're this or they're that, then you know what? Don't even play the game.
Don't
Just
even.
walk away.
I would say, learn how to cheat better than they are because of the simple fact people cheat in life. Yeah, I mean,
No, 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 no.
but I get what you're saying. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying, though. Don't get me
yeah, yeah.
wrong.
I mean, if they get older and they make that decision like you just did, I won't
Hmm.
knock them.
Hmm.
I won't knock them, but before they learn how to
Hmm.
adjust to cheating because other people are cheating,
Yeah, I
I
get what you're
want
saying.
them to have a foundation of doing the right thing
Oh yeah, I
first.
get. Okay, I got you. No,
Yeah.
right, no, yeah, I
So,
got you there. I got you there.
because I had that with my grandson in some kind of game, and then they started, yeah, and same as
Yeah,
always,
yeah,
boys and girls playing together, and
yeah,
the boys started winning, and all of a sudden they stopped it halfway through, and they wanted to start changing the parameters, and he got
yeah.
pissed,
They do that.
and he
Yeah.
should have, I'm not mad at him. He should be pissed,
And so yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
be like, hey, all right, so it's too late now. You gonna stop halfway through, so that means we gonna take all this up to now. You lost.
Hmm.
It's over with. It's done. It's done.
Yeah,
You lost.
yeah, you know, and then again, sticking with the power motive, we go to the other side, the abuse of that power.
No, they
you
gonna
know
do it.
yeah, exactly. So now, you look at, and this is not just a culture thing, this is a broad overreaching society thing.
Right, right.
Women are in power.
Culture of the
Y-
culture of the
yeah,
society itself. Yeah.
right. So women, to be quite fair, is in power. Let's call that for what it is. And you run all the game about the world would be better with you in power, and then we sit here and we look, and nothing's changed. And to some degree, depending on what section you're talking about, they've made it worse. So you abuse the power you were given. Excuse me, not given, taken. Excuse me.
Yeah,
You
because
know.
they
So so
they
so
did
so
take
so
it.
you took it, you got it, and the only thing you did was be just as decadent as your quote unquote male counterparts. So how are you better? And the reason they don't want to answer that is because they have to come to the realization that it has nothing to do with gender. It has everything to do with human nature.
Well, no, that's not the reason why they don't want to answer it. They don't want
Mhm.
to answer it because if they admit that, I mean, how many puppets are you going to lose? I mean, no, really.
like I know. I'm laughing because I'm remembering that African girl we talked about in that video last night.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's why I started laughing.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
because I mean, the truth is a card that it can only be played once. I mean, once you play it, that's it. You are dead. You stuck.
yeah, yeah, you are, yeah,
That's
and
why
it's a cascade effect too.
yeah, that's why I say, when people say the truth set you free, now the lie set you free. Because with a lie, you can be anything. You can't be
Yep.
anything with the truth.
Hmm. Hmm. But like I said, it only got worse. But
Right.
in a lot of different instances. Um, but again, that's just the way they're running it.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's the issue of acquiring power, and there's the issue of not abusing it.
Hmm.
And like I said, and that's one of the things I liked about the David story, because he didn't abuse it. He did no more than what was absolutely necessary with it, and then he got the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So because if you look, he came and he did what he was supposed to. He took out Goliath, chopped the head off, bounced.
Yeah.
Everybody else did extra by chasing the Philistines back to their land. That was extra. That wasn't what they were there for. They were there
Yeah.
for a 1-to-1 man fight.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean, yeah, and that, yeah, because I guess once he accepted the challenge, that's what they were there for.
yeah, because Goliath said it
Yeah.
himself. I'm tired of this nonsense with our armies back and forth. I'll come forward, send me one man. If he wins, then we'll serve
Yeah.
you. If I win, you'll serve me. It was a 1-to-1 man thing.
Yeah.
He did exactly what was necessary, no more, no less.
Yeah.
Everybody else, like I said, got stupid and did the extra by
No,
chasing
they
after
didn't
the
get.
army.
They got bold now because
Yeah, they were
now they
emboldened
can
at his
get.
win.
Yeah, they weren't bold
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
got
yeah.
bold now once Goliath was taken out. Now they got their balls back. Uh,
Hmm.
because the Philistines lost theirs because he lost. So
Right, exactly.
yeah,
But again, like I said, that was extra. That
yeah.
wasn't even part of the agreement. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
But
You know.
that's the thing. That's one of the things that's why I said in life you learned it. There's not
Mhm.
there are only rule is win.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to expect for them to screw you over, whoever the
Hmm.
opponent is. I mean, you have to be prepared that they're going to do it. You have to expect
Yeah, yeah,
it. And
absolutely.
it makes me think of a quote by Eisen and Bleach. Um, Betrayal that you see coming is trivial. It's the betrayal that you don't see coming is
That's
that
major.
means yeah, that's major. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And that betrayal will come from directions you could never possibly imagine.
yeah, yeah.
You know, speaking of somebody who's had a couple, and I'm sure people here have had a few themselves.
Right,
It's never ever from where you expected.
right.
You know, it just isn't.
Yeah.
That's why I make up jokes as an American werewolf in South Central.
I'm ready to see it, man. Yeah,
But yeah, but like I said, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say other than, like I said, it's there for the taking, man.
yeah, yeah.
It's there for the taking.
It is.
I mean, it's especially the part about yourself.
Right.
But like I said, everybody's busy wanting to play the money game, the status game, the celebrity game, yada yada yada. And oh, and here's something else too that we didn't touch on.
Okay.
There's a difference between real power and the illusion
Ooh,
of power.
ooh, ooh, ooh. Mm-mm.
Because we didn't touch that. I just realized we
Mm-mm.
didn't touch that. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
there's a difference.
Mm-mm.
There's there's
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
there's a there's a serious, and I mean a serious difference. Because like I said, going back to celebrity and the clout and all that, that's the illusion of it, man. That's the
mm-hmm.
illusion of it. Because they could lose that any moment.
Yeah,
And matter of fact, they do lose it because I mean it's very very rare. It's like a celebrity who'll have a long career. It's very
mm-hmm.
rare. That's why there's only one Denzel Washington. That's why there's only one Michael Jackson. Yeah, I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Not
Right,
not every person is going to achieve that level or of success or longevity. it just isn't.
right.
So that's just an illusion of power. But you take somebody like myself or MOT, we could lose our business tomorrow. As a matter of fact, as we've discussed on your channel before, we've lost other businesses before
Yeah,
that didn't work out. But the skill set is still there to turn around and do something and try again and do
yeah,
something different. Once you're a singer or an actor and no more record deals come or no more movie roles come, you're a waitress. Yeah, I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
You're a waiter.
yeah.
You know what I'm
If
saying?
that's if you put all your eggs into that, yeah,
Yeah, or
exactly.
you're a school teacher, or you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Whatever.
yeah, whatever, But the skill set for like myself and MOT, we can go start another business without blinking,
Right, right.
you know, and even to some degree switch our fields in the process. Because I mean, like I said, before I got where I'm at now, I failed. I think it was three or four businesses I failed, man.
Wow.
And like MOT and I said on your stream, ain't no shame in it.
Right.
Ain't no shame in that. That's part of the process. You learn, you fail, you. I mean, you fail, you learn from the failure, the parts of the failure, and you rebuild. And like I said, it took me 3-4 times. I got no shame in that.
Yeah, there's not really anything you can learn from success. It's failure that
Hmm.
you learn from.
Yeah, and that's another problem, and that's a society thing as well. This crazy nonsense of fear of failure. Why? That's part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's this anime I watch where this guy infiltrates a group and becomes second in command, so you can set up the head to fall and take all the blame. Then the second in command. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. You still talk about the betrayal thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
but but like I said, people have to, and that's like I said, that's part of doing that in that internal analysis, that understanding of who you are, and what you want to become
Right.
alleviates, or at least it should alleviate, whatever difficulty you have in making an assessment on what's true power and what's the illusion of power.
Yeah.
Because
And
that goes back to the David thing. David was the true power. He went out and he slayed Goliath. The Israelites chasing after the chasing after the Philistine army is an illusion of power.
Yeah. As well as
Because
Saul himself too.
exactly, that's the illusion of power. They think because David won, that suddenly means that they can do it too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean
Yeah.
that's the illusion of power.
Yeah.
So you know,
And also to the point you were talking about with oh dang, I don't know why I just forgot. This is doggone shame.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I distracted you. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. But dang,
Was it
it's
something
bugging me.
about the was it something about the illusion versus the actual?
It was some other part in there, but it's okay. It'll be fine. Um, but I think hey, we've well, we talked about this as well as we can. I think. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wish I wish I actually wish Sigma was here actually.
yeah, well, he's here,
Because
but he can't be up here.
no, I know. I'm sorry. I mean, he was on because I would
Yeah,
love because like I said, he and I are history buffs. So
yeah,
I would have loved to hear some of his analysis coming from that perspective,
yeah, yeah. It would have been
especially
very
with World War II, and then the differences between our culture and the
same.
Japanese culture. Because, like I said, my memories are from the '80s. His are more recent.
Yeah, right, right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. That's if nothing else, I wish he was on here just from that perspective.
Yeah, yeah, it would have been great. It would have been great, but maybe we get him on. I still got some more of these to do. Like I
Oh
said,
yeah,
I think I'm gonna
absolutely.
some more of these with different stories in the Bible with different characters. So I think it's a good learning tool on how power. It
Hmm.
must be taken. It's never given.
Yep.
But well, before we go, Lawrence, your last words.
Oh, yeah. No, don't be don't be afraid of who you are. Don't be afraid of finding out that a lot of the things you thought you believed you really don't, and you're holding on to someone else's concepts of what you should. Don't be afraid to be introspective. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not just fight with the world, but fight with yourself.
Mhm.
Because when you force yourself to question things, when you force yourself to reevaluate and assess things, I'm telling you, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
You will. And as a lot of brothers in this space have known with my talking to them, they've changed my mind on lots of things. Lots of things. Lots of things that I would have never backed down from before. But when you have good men, when you have good brothers who will take the time to sit and talk to you and analyze things with you and question things with you, and you come to realize there's a different perspective on things, it does nothing but make you better. It does nothing but make you happier. If nothing else, it forces you to be more critically analytical, and that's always a good thing.
Mhm.
So do that. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to be challenged. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Don't be afraid to be wrong. You know what I mean? I mean, it's okay. I promise you, even if you're wrong, tomorrow morning will still come. I promise you. You know what I mean? I mean, other than that, hashtag men first.
Right. And I just remember I was gonna say, to the points you made that earlier, how we talked about people not knowing themselves. The other thing is too, they also don't know where they want to go either. So
No, 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 absolutely.
yeah, so they're all messed up.
Yeah, but in all fairness, you're right. I mean, how could you know where you're going if you haven't figured out who you are, much less where you're at?
Well, and I wasn't even just talking about where they're going. They have no idea where they want to go either.
That's my point. I mean, you have to figure out who you are
Yeah.
first, and where
Okay.
you have to figure
I
out who
see.
you are and where you are first
Right.
before you can even figure out the other part.
Yeah. 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 Agree.
You
Agree.
know, I mean, for me, there were a lot of things that no matter what I did, it just never felt right. You know, because there was part
Mm.
of me missing. Because, like I said, I never knew my father's family, but once I found them, everything clicked, and I got a sharper image You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
of who I was, and now I have a greater understanding of where I'm going and what I want to be. You got to know where you came from to figure out where you're going. You have to.
Mm,
You can't plot a course to California if you don't know where you're standing.
right.
I mean, if you don't know if you're in Massachusetts, how do you plot the course?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here in Florida. I can't plot a trip to New York if I don't know I'm in Florida, and I can't. I got
Right.
to know where I'm at first.
Right. Yeah.
you know. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's
That is
common
important.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No, that's
common
important.
sense.
It's important. But yeah. Um. I
But
guess.
thank you for having me, as always.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Glad to have you up here. Um. Want to thank everyone in the chat for listening. And I guess want to leave you with this. Yeah. Find out who you are. Know yourself. Knowing yourself is very important. That way you can find out where you want to go next. Uh, and hey, don't be a hospital gown nigga. Peace.